Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hello.
Okay.
Hey, Andrew.
Can everybody?
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you're Alexander.
Yes, I'm that guy.
Yeah, you're that guy. Stephanie, was I before you?
Sorry, it's 2 a.m. here.
Oh,
I got I got one meeting yesterday. It's at 2 a.m. as well, so I was a bit off.
You're a real trooper, aren't you, Steph?
Everybody
Wow.
applause for Stephanie.
Raul will host the meeting. Raul? Yeah. Wow, we got loads of people today. Wow.
Well, this is all of us. I mean, there were more people interested in going. I mean, now maybe we have to wait for 15 minutes or something to let everyone just come in.
Yeah, they can just jump in. Well, it's a social meeting. Wow.
No, but they can always just fall in, you know. It's not like we have any big agenda going on right now. So.
Okay. Then it's
And I'm actually on the clock right now. Like,
Yeah.
so
Wants his money.
I may or may not be getting paid to have this meeting right now. So, well, I've got a whole conference room to myself. I mean, there's nobody here. Yeah.
So let's pretend that we're in the conference room that Andrew's in, right?
That would be awesome.
Fine. Everyone taking a chair.
Oh, these are nice chairs, yeah. Where'd Raul go to?
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Raul?
Yeah.
I think you can start now.
Yeah, awesome.
Yep.
Hey, welcome everybody to the Moving Forward RBE Network Learning Group. We want to thank you for your time. This is like a RBE and chill session, you could say, so we could get to know each other in depth more and deeper. I say Andrew go first just because he is at work right now. So if we do get disconnected, we could go from there. But welcome everybody. Thank you so much for your time in advance. And if you guys want to say anything or introduce yourself, any ideas about RBE, we'll just go from there. And if anybody would like to start, I would suggest Andrew starting it, just so if he does get disconnected, we could go from there.
Oh, okay. There we go. I was muted. Did you say that you wanted me to start? This headphone is nowhere near as good as my stereo quality ones that I normally use with you guys.
No, you're good. I mean, I can hear you quite clearly. So yeah, just in case you get disconnected because you are on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, I run all right, so yes, as everybody knows, my name's Andrew. Last name is Lamb, L-A-M-B, just like the cute fuzzy little animal. If you guys ever decided to look me up on Facebook, by all means, send me a friend request. Just don't, call me a commie. Actually, hey, I'm sorry. I was gonna crack some jokes here, but I actually have a coworker coming in really quick. So I'm gonna let him know what I'm doing so he doesn't walk in and think that I'm like playing around on some kind of adult website. I'll be back in a few minutes.
For sure.
Start with people that I know, like Charlotte and Stephanie. That way I don't miss any of the good stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Would you like to introduce yourself, Stephanie and Charlotte?
You won't miss anything. I'm going to be telling you the story of my life. Well, I've got lots of interesting things to tell you about myself now that Andrew's not here. My name is Charlotte. I'm originally from the United States, but I've been living abroad since, I'm older than I look, 1983. And I lived in Asia for 4 years. And after that, I came to Europe. And I've been living in Holland now since 1987. And yeah, my interest in RBE, now, I've always been somebody, hello? Whose microphone is on? Could you guys turn off your microphones?
I could mute.
Okay, so I got started in RBE, well, a long time ago. Actually, when I was in university, I was a communist, so I was, trying to get Marxism as a new kind of social system. But when I lived in China, like I found out that it didn't work. So after 2008, I saw the Zeitgeist film, and I was completely thrilled by it. And in Zeitgeist Addendum, then I found out about the Venus Project. And now, as you know, since the passing of Jacques last month, it felt for me inspiring, for people to get together and carry this into the future. So Stephanie got me involved in this, and Roll helped us out. And well, that's pretty much, I guess, all I have to say. But if anyone has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charlotte. Would you like to go, Stephanie? Just introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Stephanie, as you may know me already. Can you guys hear me? Right. Good. So basically, I'm 23. I'm an academics student, PhD student, and I study in England. I'm currently in China for holiday at the moment. So I think similar like everyone else, I started to know TVP from a Zeitgeist movie. So after watching that Zeitgeist movie, I was like, my life has been changed, which was good. Well, I studied economics, but it's kind of like how I know economics doesn't work anymore, because economic model boosts are being built on the assumption that everyone only cares about themselves. It's about self-efficiency. I'm still doing economics PhD, but I got no choice because I still need to make a living in the system. But if I got any other choice, I would go for it. So yeah, I'm an economist and I'm an activist. I got like another side of me. It's been an honor to work with Charlotte and Rao to start this RBE meeting. I worked with another project called the World Summit, which is a platform to unite all social movement groups, professionals, and individuals. I would like Tony to introduce it. Sorry guys, I'm a bit off today because it's like 2 a.m. here. So anyways, if you have more questions about me, please message me on Facebook, and you're more than welcome to add me on Facebook. So I would like Tony to introduce the World Summit if you guys are interested though. Tony?
Very interested. Would you like to go next, Tony?
Yeah, that's fine. Hi everyone. I'm Tony. I'm 47. I was born in Holland. Yes, I was. I am a Groninger. I lived there for about 21 years. Then I moved over to Portugal, lived there, and worked as an entertainer. Then I moved over to the UK, and then I had about, well, as we say over in Holland, 12 jobs and 13 accidents. Never found my own place, never felt in the right mind. So I had a girlfriend which I broke up from, and I decided to go over to Ecuador and spend some time in the Amazon, which I stayed there for 2 months. It was excellent. It was a beautiful place. But when I came back, it changed my life completely. I got to understand when you have less, you appreciate so much more. And something that is lacking these days, because everything is readily given. People lose their appreciation. I started working in care. I still didn't find my way, and I was recommended by someone to watch the Zeitgeist movie. And it took me literally about 2 years to watch that movie because I knew it would change my life forever. When I watched it, I watched all 3 of them, and it was very illuminating. And I came to set up the World Summit about a year ago, and I got to meet Stephanie and Jim Petruzzi, Troy Wiley, and a few more who are now all the admin in the World Summit. It's a place where we are trying to unite other groups, because groups are so disconnected these days. It doesn't matter which group you are from. There are already groups that do something similar like the World Summit, but they are all focused on their own thing. Would it be resource-based economy, or finding a new way on using currency, or whatever it is? So we at the World Summit, we want to give a place to all the groups to unite, where they can discuss today's problems that we have and come up with some real solutions. But instead of protesting and writing petitions, that hasn't helped in the past. It's not going to help now. We are just simply going to bypass the whole government system, and we come up with our own solutions. I feel that when we finally get most of the groups to unite, we're going to be the majority worldwide, and the governments will have no choice but then to give in. I always wanted to start a revolution, and I thought by myself, that's something how the government knows how to battle. They know how to fight violence with violence. So we had to approach it from a different way. As Stephanie knows as well, when we wrote our manifesto / invitation, we had to kind of learn a new language, something that Jack Fresco was talking about as well. And I didn't understand what he meant with that until we actually started working on the manifesto. So we kind of learned a new language where we are unbiased and non-judgmental, so we can actually invite everybody. With that, we know what the problems are. I mean, it's like here now preaching to the converted, because you all know there is a problem. We have the solutions too, but we are not being listened to. So hence with the World Summit, well, let's hope. We are trying very hard. We have loads of meetings. We're trying to do webinars now as well, as soon as we get that up and running, and to reach a bigger audience so that we can finally unite. But we don't want to do this ad infinitum. We do not want to keep on going and going. We want to get on with it. We don't stop. We don't want to leave it to rest. And this is where most of the other movements and groups have failed, because there is no up and going anymore, and there's a lot of division afterwards. I think that's about. Have I forgotten anything, Stephanie? Okay.
Everything all right? I'm still here.
Yeah, I couldn't hear Stephanie. Is Stephanie still there?
Yeah, it sounds like her computer isn't working. So maybe, are you there, Stephanie? Okay.
Yep.
Did I forget anything, Stephanie, or what was that about it? Because I don't want to take everybody's time up.
Yeah. So we will send the manifesto. I will send the link of manifesto to the chat. So anyone else who's interested in it, please check the post, check the chat. Yep. Hello.
Could I say one thing there? I've already signed the manifesto, and it looked like something that maybe that we would want to include in this group. So that's something I'd like to throw up in the air. I was thinking of that maybe we, as the Moving Forward RBE Learning Network, could also sort of adopt that manifesto. You know what I mean?
It would be great. It's an unbiased manifesto, I hope. That's how it's been written anyway. That was the intention as well. I did speak via someone else to Roxanne, but Roxanne wasn't interested at all. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is. She did offer if there was somebody who wanted, if she wanted to speak at the World Summit event, when we have the event, she would be willing to. But for the rest, she wasn't really interested. I suppose she gets an awful lot of offers, and there are no hard feelings there at all.
Okay, so I'll put this on the agenda for one of our future meetings, okay? About agreeing for that as a group, if people agree with that. Okay, Roll.
Thank you so much. Andrew, would you like to go next? I'm not trying to put you on the spotlight or nothing, but I'm just saying.
No, it's okay. I just had a coworker come in, and I was letting him know that because I came in an hour and a half early, I was going to take an intermittent break in which I wasn't actually on the clock, but you know, all of the good stuff should be sorted out. He's outside smoking a cigarette while he's on the clock anyways, so. Okay, so yes, my name's Andrew Lamb. I am from Richmond, Virginia. I was born here. Hopefully I won't die here. I'm hoping to move to California in the next year to 2 years so that I can attend college. I have my eyes set on the University of California at Los Angeles, where I will, well, first let me start with where I'm at now. At Reynolds College here in Richmond, completing my AS in social science. It will move from that into most likely sociology and sustainable public policy, which of course has a lot of underpinnings in law and probably some things in philosophy. You know how these things all kind of melt together after a while. Though outside of my professional education, I've been a student of sociology for I don't know how many years. I'm 27 now, so probably started at around the age of 22. I didn't even know to call it sociology, to be honest with you, but I had a very large fascination with other cultures, which I guess could be anthropology, and the reasons why people behave they did. I knew coming from a less well-off, and when I say that, I mean we lived in like a terrible lopsided trailer in the middle of a farm that was not owned by us. We pretty much, my family or my mother worked for the landowner in order to kind of compensate for a lack of income. I grew up, of course, with Virginia being kind of the heart of where the Confederacy of the United States was. It was the capital, after all. There's still a deep-seated hatred, well, that is starting to veer away from, but mostly still prevalent hatred for peoples of different culture, people of different skin color. There are also a lot of, well, I guess in the political compass would be right-wing political views, even though the majority of the state kind of votes left when it comes to the duopoly of Republicans versus Democrats here in the United States. So carrying that forward, I was always very curious about those things, and it's made me pursue what I am pursuing now, and hopefully, like I said, continuing to pursue in the future. It wasn't my ideal profession laid out in the future to, say, work with the government, but I understand, just like many others in today's society, that there are very few options because everything's been so institutionalized. And of course, on the outside, like where we are here in this meeting, I'm looking for any platform I can get the resource-based economy and all related fields up and get as much attention to it. So that is the reason why I seek to, that's why I seek political action in the United States. So other than that, I'm an avid musician. I love to sing. I play many instruments, anything from keyboard, violin. Guitar is probably my favorite, acoustic mostly. I've written some of my own work, and of course I've got a number of covers and things of that nature down. Other than that, I I like debating people. I've attended a few different debates here with people who call themselves market anarchists. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that particular section, anarcho-capitalism, born out of the Milton Friedman and Murray Rothbard schools and right-wing libertarianism, which of course is, I believe, nonsense. But yes, and so on and so forth. I love reading, and I love being here in this meeting with you all today. So is it just an introduction, or do people ask questions? Because I haven't really seen how everybody else operated until now.
No, that's amazing. You could introduce yourself. If anybody has questions, please do so. This is like literally an RBE chill session, if you really think about it all together, so we could actually get to know each other. If you don't have anything else to add, anyone else would like to ask?
Well, I just want to tell Andrew that I play the violin too, eh? So sometime we can play a duet.
I could probably play a nice one-string solo for you. I'm not very good at it.
I'm much better at it. I'm much better than that.
Yeah, I mostly have stuck to things that have frets, like guitars and banjos. And I worked in a music store for several years.
I play the bass. We can make a band. No problem. Okay.
The RBE, that's what we'll call it. It's just like, I don't even know. We got to think of something like analogous to RBE, but not, it's got to be like something band, blah. I don't know. It'd be kind of funny.
It should be, we're getting the band back together, like the Blues Brothers.
Oh, the Blues Brothers. That's good stuff. Saw that movie when I was like very young.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's awesome, Andrew. It's going to be a privilege to actually get to know you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? I'm really interested in Qasim, if I'm pronouncing that right, because you keep hopping off, but we actually haven't introduced ourselves.
Hi, everyone. I might introduce myself.
Perfect, Nuno.
Okay, I'm Nuno. I'm 40 years old. Some of you already know me because I was already introduced myself in other two meetings. And as I like to say, I'm from a region here on Earth called Portugal. I don't consider it a country. That's a start. I have a strong college basis on scientific. Sorry. May I continue? Is everyone listening to me?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. If anybody has any background noise, please mute themselves. But Nuno's talking.
Oh, okay, okay. As I was saying, I have a college degree in electronics and telecommunications engineering. It's a strong course in science and technology, given it has really deep, full lectures on maths and physics and some software development. I think it's important here for our concern and some others like electronics and telecommunications. I find that given or since I was in contact primarily from the zeitgeist trilogies, mainly the first one, the first movie, I was deeply in touch. I would like to tell you that I was working in internet place where people go there and use the PCs, and there were in fact more like 10 people instead of me, and I remember it was something like maybe 8 to 9 years ago. I remember crying, not compulsively crying, but I cried when I was given the realities that the documentary showed to me. I was in public and I was tiny crying. I was deeply in touch with that. From those days, I was involved in that work. I was involved in software development, and later I was involved also in teaching. And that came a period where I had no else development on our concerns, our activism. But since 2 years and a half from now, I was unemployed and trying to get committed in doing that. Today, even if I am looking for a job, I have committed to myself to be for my entire life, as long as it is needed, a problem solver, and I'd like to be a social engineer all in my life, all the life that I can get, and I found that thing the most enthusiastic and the most important and the most fulfillment thing to me to do, and I am involved in some other group. It's kind of derived from the Venus project called The Transition. I am a contributor in that group. I am also involved in the Zeitgeist chapter here on Portugal. We have some meetings online, and I had participated in the 2 last Z days from that chapter, and I consider to be 100% a full-time job, problem solver, software, social engineer, and I like to do. I really love to do it. I think it's every time with me. I have some social and like sports things that I do regularly, but that thing is always deep in my mind. I think it is all for now.
Thank you so much, Nuno. It's really a privilege to actually get to know you. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves or add any questions or comments with Nuno's introduction? If not, anyone else would like to.
Yes, please.
I would like to say that it is so awesome to hear y'all and listen to what you're saying. It is just magnificent what you do, and I'm in the chat of RBE like 2 weeks maybe, but I'm surprised of that what you do all. And I was talking to Ralph. No, to yeah to wait a minute. I forgot your name. It was. Uh-huh.
Nuno or Raul?
No. It was you.
Oh, okay, Raul. Sorry, my bad. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, we were talking at the messenger and yeah about some music and stuff
Oh yeah, my bad. I was supposed to write you
yeah,
down.
Project New Americana and TVP, the Zeitgeist movement and all of that stuff. I'm just surprised. I don't need to introduce myself. I'm just here.
No, for sure, Matt. That's cool. You don't have to introduce yourself if you don't want
Well,
to.
you can tell me how to pronounce your name because I don't know how to say that.
Okay, no problem. I'm from Poland, Poznan. It's near to, I think, border of east border of Poland. So near Berlin, maybe near Hamburg.
And your name is Mateus?
And my name is Matthew or Matt. You can call me Matt.
Okay.
So yeah, and as you all guys, I've watched Zeitgeist movements, all of the three movies, and about year or 2 years ago, I was shocked. It was for me like the end of my previous life. Yeah, it was a new beginning, no doubt for that. Yeah, I don't know what I have to say. Yeah, it's enough.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. It's a privilege to actually have you on here.
Thank you.
For sure. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves at the moment? If not, I can go. Yeah, awesome. Well, my name's Raul. Raul J. Silver. I don't think that matters, but I'm just saying. I don't know how to introduce myself, but I'm 25. I have 2 girls. I'm born on planet Earth just like everyone else. I love Earth, just like everyone else. I would say that is in this group right now. I don't know. I guess I was you could say I was indoctrinated in this system because when I was younger, I really wanted to be an actor and still like an aspiring actor just because I love movies and music, art. So music for sure. I love music. Like that's what I wanted to pursue. But I into like 18. So I pursued music when I was younger. But when I was like 17, 18, I really wanted to like, I'm like, okay, well, why the hell is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Regarding like why people suffer, why is there homelessness, poverty, scarcity? I didn't know those terminology, those correct analogies with those words itself. But just give me 1 second. Sorry. And regarding that, at 19 years old, I was like, how can I change the world? So like with one of my companies, that's what's crazy. Like speaking with people and it's all interconnecting through my life. I feel like, or I'm putting the pieces together if you really think about it, because at 19 years old, I wanted to change the world. And I'm like, well, I wanted to be the first trillionaire just because it's like, if you have enough money in this world, I don't like this. And I think you guys agree is money is power in this monetary system. So if you have enough of it, like Bill Gates, I guess you could say, he could do a lot. Like some people are saying like he's doing a lot. Yeah, but this dude has $80 billion. Yet a whole country doesn't even have like 2 billion. So that doesn't make sense in that sense. And I'm like, okay, well, if I could invent different things, because I'm really like into like building little instruments or figuring out how I could turn seawater into regular drinking water at that time. How can I create like free energy? I didn't know like and it came like 5 years later that geothermal energy would be like very powerful for us, just because we could utilize a core. There's 10,000 years or like millions and millions of years of energy that we could utilize to our advantage if you really think about that. So it's like at 19 years old, thinking about all that, going through my music, having my 2 daughters, it's like I'm still stuck in the system, but it's like I'm trying to break through out so we could live a better life. But so how I'm doing that is like through all my companies. So like it took me like a couple of years, honestly. Like I didn't make any money for two years straight trying to build different instruments. And I'm guessing like some people that are trying to do that know how that feels. And it's like, if you don't have money, then you can't fund anything. And it's like, what am I doing kind of in that sense? So I'm like, I started this company, I started this business, and then I don't know, like all these ideas just started coming in. And it's not just ideas. I'm influenced by everything that I see on the internet or movies. So if you really think about that, everything that I know, that's what I don't, so I don't know if people actually think about this when they're actually taking this into consideration, that everything that I'm doing, my emotions, the way I talk, the way I move, is like, it's all brought on from movies, TV shows, books that I read, watching all of yous right now. Like if I like Tony's expression, I'd probably use it just because it's like, that's what I like. And then I'll start using it if you really think about it like that. And that's how I think about this business, or well, not this business, but you could say this transition, I guess. And it's broken down into different segments, you could say, meaning like I want to, me personally, this is like my own values now. It's like with everything that I'm building, the multiple companies that I have through Project No Americana, or like this little group that we're starting right now, that's what I don't get. Like people are saying, well, they're still stuck in this system, but they don't have a way to actually make an RBE or break out of this issue, even just a little. Meaning like every activist that I talk to right now is, it's not that they're not trying to help, but it's like watching this process for the last decade and how it's coming about. Like I honestly believe that we could be so much further, but it's like the way it's organized, I guess you could say, it's not organized. You have to think about it. It's like no one knows how to make a resource-based economy. Like we have some ideas, and people have ideas, and people have ways, but it's like no one actually knows how to make a resource-based economy if you really think about it like that. So like with that, regarding that, I'm getting off subject, and I don't want to get off subject. That's why I didn't want to go next. I'm like, oh, my bad. I'm so sorry. But it's like, there's so many ideas in this direction. Like I'll just give you like what I'm doing personally, and you guys could agree with it or not. But like, honestly, like we paid $6 million on the 80,000 acres of land that we're going to buy, that we want to build. That's why like I agree with everyone's idea, and everyone that is working towards this direction. It's just like me personally, it took me like 2 years just to even try to become a POC with the Venus Project. And it's like, well, why should the hell it take 2 years? Like I could only personally live anywhere from like 60 to 100. And I'm breaking down my time because my time is so valuable that it's like, once I'm gone, that's it. Like you guys could believe whatever you want to believe in, but it's like, I need to get, like me personally, this is my feelings, but I need to like do whatever I can in my lifetime to make this way as soon as possible. I don't care, like, and that's what's cool about it. Like I believe right now in this moment that if I could reach out to the right people regarding like the World Summit, any other group, which they're not open-minded to like a lot of shit that you guys know, any other organization groups, there's like Free World Thinking, some other groups, and One City, some other groups. And it's I agree with the World Summit. Like if we could bring all these groups together, I don't care what they call it. Or what they do. It's just like if we all work together, that people that actually want to get this direction done, I think we can do it. And that's for me. I think we just need to become better, and that's a challenge. Like meaning, if we could utilize into our advantage, not just manipulate it, but manipulate it to our advantage during this transition to make this way possible and a reality in our lifetime, say in the next decade. I honestly do believe we could change a shitload in the next decade, whether you guys agree with me or not, because some people don't, but it's like, I know we can do it. That's why, okay, so this is why I personally, this is my own opinion, is I believe that once we pay off the land, it's our land. The only thing that we have to pay is taxes on that land. So if we only have to pay taxes, but yet we could fit anywhere from 25 to 1 million people on this land, then it's like, it would make it way more possible than just building, trying to ask people because I'm so down with asking people like, oh, give me your city, give me your town, let me renovate it, let me do this. But it's like in this system and how people think right now, it's not that possible. And then setting up like socio-Siberian / sand houses, which I don't know, like some people know, Matt knows a little about it, Stephanie knows a little about it. I think you guys know a little about it. Like that's what, it's all interconnected, and I don't want to go into yeah, definitely. And with that, it's like there's so much things. So I'm not just leaving it up to chance. I've been working on this. I can't get into the technical details. I'm so sorry. I don't want to like take too much of your time. I do apologize for making this long. But it's like just thinking about it, like how Tony's thinking about it. It's really amazing if you just sit down and actually think about the process of how can you actually make this a reality. But now, because I agree with like the Zeitgeist movement, the Z-Day thingamajigger, but it's like they did that for like the last 10 years or the last 5 or 8 years. But it's like, so what's actually changing? And me, in my opinion, you guys could agree with me or not, but it's like I don't think a lot is changing. Like you can keep talking to people and exposing this idea, but if you're just exposing this idea, to me, in my opinion, it's just a verbal hobby, because it's like there's nothing showing for it. Like I respect and love Jacques so much, and I think he does so much for us in his lifetime, that he expressed so much extensionality towards this direction that it's like if you really think about it, in my opinion, there's like 60 million people that believe in this direction. So it's like regarding this direction, I think if we could bring this together, like I guess you could call it the World Summit, honestly, or whatever the name it is. I don't care. I just believe everything that we need to make this way possible is we just have to utilize it, manipulate it to our advantage, and make it a reality. But I don't want to take too much of your time. Sorry, I'm like messing up. I'd rather like think about it so I don't have to like mess up my terminology. Like if you ever meet me and we talk, this is probably how I act, and this is not my bad. I do apologize, but it's like I'd rather get more ideas out, but I don't want to take too much of your time. So anybody would like to introduce yourself, please do so. Would anyone like to introduce themselves?
So yeah, I don't know if I pronounced the name correctly.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm Sonia Freeman from Texas. So excited to see everyone, and I'll tell you now, especially this young man here and some of the others that have spoken, I just want to say I appreciate the energy and the excitement and the passion that everyone seems to have. And that's one thing that made me want to introduce myself, because I live in the southern, hyper-Christian, hyper-racist, small town, small-minded communities, and I love everybody. This is how they were raised. This is, you know, the life. They were blinded. They were, I'm so overwhelmed right now. I can hardly speak, but, you know, I don't blame them for where they're at, but I have no one to share my excitement with about all of this. So a little bit about myself. I'm a 39-year-old single mother of 3 older children. I've got a 14, who's fixing to turn 15-year-old, 16-year-old, and 20-year-old. And I lived most of my life as a black sheep, because as a very small child, I started asking the wrong questions. Well, if God meant for this to happen, why would he do that? Or if, you know, the president says this, then why is this happening? Or if, you know, if, why, and if. And of course, I got a lot of spankings for these questions. So that led me to be a fairly distressed, depressed child. I grew up, got married to who my parents said I should marry, and then after a divorce and a crazy kind of life, jumping from one thing to another, I did manage to get my degree in psychology, because I was trying to figure out people, trying to figure out the world, what's going on with their minds here, why can't we get along? But and then I went into management and
Ik ga alleen maar luisteren nou.
in human resources. But nothing ever worked for me, nothing ever stuck. But in 2010, after being put in a wheelchair for a while, though I'm walking now, miracle, I started looking for answers, and I saw the Zeitgeist movies, the Venus Project, all of that. And again, my mind was blown, started a new life for me. But because I'm here, there has not been one person in a 200-mile radius so far that I can find that knows anything about RBE. Nobody. But all that says to me is then it's my job to start sharing what the possibilities are for RBE. It's a little scary to do in this area because they will probably they still burn crosses and stuff. I'm not joking. Like that stuff really happens around here. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. But I want to learn as much as possible. I've followed since 2010. I've been following. I actually got to go to Venus, Florida in March and meet Jacques and Roxanne and a bunch of other amazing people. So it was 1 month before he passed away, so I count myself very lucky. But my main thing right now is educating myself. I have a son, like I said, who's 15. He's got 3 more years of high school. Once he graduates, I will be free to go anywhere in the country, in the world, to spread the message. But I am here now. I can start here. So I'm trying to educate myself. But the main question I have and the main thing I would love to learn from all of you is the transitional stage. How to go from, like he said, how to go from these ideas to action. And I think there's a couple of different ways that can happen. I've seen some people who are starting with, farms, vertical farms in buildings so that the land can be reclaimed that we now use for farms. I've seen some people talking about the universal income, a strategy there that would slowly move. There's just so many different things, but I want to figure out what I can do besides education of myself and my communities. What can I start doing right now to put the transition into place from moving to where we're at now to a resource-based economy? So that's just me in a little baby nutshell.
That's awesome, Sonia. It's really a privilege to actually meet you. It's awesome.
Hey, Sonia, my aunt lives in Texas.
Yeah.
Small world, eh?
Yes, it is a small world.
If I may ask, your accent doesn't seem as thick as a Texan's. Are you from Texas originally?
I am from Texas, but I've also grown up around a lot of people from different cultures. We have a very strong Spanish community here. Mm-hmm. So I can pull a Spanish accent if I need to. I can pull a Ebonic accent if I need to. I have friends of all races. You'll see everybody's welcome to Facebook me. I've been all over the world, and so I have learned to try to mask my natural accent, but I can pull it out if y'all ever want to. I can get real Southern if y'all want me to.
I have the same problem, actually. I try not to have my Southern drawl come out too strongly in general conversation, because, as I'm sure you've witnessed in the United States, there's something of a stigma attached to it. And like, oh, you sound like one of them dumb rednecks. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, so many people from, like, upstate New York that I've met. Oh, man, when I was in New York, yeah, people would look at me like I was some kind of special case. It was
when I first traveled to England, I went alone on purpose so that I could have an adventure. And I actually had them ask me to stand in the middle of a room and speak Texan. And that was my, the biggest comment afterwards was, wow, you sound completely ignorant when you start speaking in your native accent. So yes, I am proud of, like I said, you'll see on my Facebook page, I'm not a Texan. I'm not an American. I'm a human. I'm a part of a greater community and a greater brotherhood. So yes, I'm not saying I'm not proud of my heritage, but and we can all be proud of our heritage, but I want to get past that and be seen, I want my message to be heard, not my accent.
Definitely.
Sonia, can you tell me if this accent is correct? I'm gonna get a nigga gonna kick it.
I didn't hear that. My computer was. Can anybody else share what was said?
Yeah, you remember in one of the.
Oh, sorry, I can rephrase it. Can you tell me if this accent is accurate? I'm gonna get the nigga gonna kick his ass, like Jack like to say.
That is a good approximation. The lingo is somewhat accurate. And I don't want to, I mean, of course, we are far more advanced than we were even 20 years ago. So I don't want to act like I'm living in the backwoods with KKK rallies in my backyard. That's not how it is at all. On the surface, anyway. We are advancing here, but I'm just saying that my point being, I wanted to express how literally since 2010, in a 200-mile radius, I've not found one person who I said, hey, have you seen the Zeitgeist? Have you heard of the Venus Project? They're all like, no, 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 no. What are you talking about? Resource-based economy. And they're like, you damn commie. No offense to anybody. But yeah, that's the response I get. They're like, hey, you need to keep your mouth shut before we shut it for you. But again, there are people I've started to network with. I believe what you put out in the universe, you get back. And so when I started putting out that I wanted to meet people of similar minds and kindred spirits, I have started meeting some people who I think will be open to this message. I've started networking with those people, educating myself. So I'm at the point now where I believe I can actually start coming up with some type of a group here, a chapter here, and I have some people I think are on board to start helping spread this message. But it's been hard to try to find a few people, and still none of them know about it, but hopefully they will soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Sonia. And I just wanted to make this clear. I do apologize for taking a long time. I should have kept it at the end. That's why I was going to hopefully be the last one. So we could just get to everyone, because I don't know how much time everyone has. If anyone would like to go next and introduce themselves. But after, if like, I would love to answer Sonia's question and then get feedback from you and then throw ideas back and forth after everyone introduced themselves, just in case if anybody has to leave for any reason.
Sorry, can I throw one little thing in there? Who in the time that I left did I miss? Miss Charlotte?
Yeah, probably. But we also have this recorded, just in case.
Oh, okay.
Future references, yeah.
Oh, yes, I see that now.
No, you're good, Andrew. Anybody would like to introduce themselves? Nicholas, Alexander, Nico, Jeff.
I guess we can go with
Jeff,
me.
go.
Perfect.
Can everyone hear me? Because it's hard to tell. Let's hope so. Excellent. So basically, I'm 20 years old, and I've been in a wheelchair for 6 years. That doesn't make life the easiest for me, but I'm not one to shy away at challenges. Anyways, I read about this not even 2 months ago, about Jacques Fresco and his whole idea. And what struck me the most is when I hear him speak, he speaks almost exactly like I speak, or how I think, I should say. And his whole transition process or whatever seems good, but I think it's just too slow. I've looked into the Zeitgeist movement and everything else, but there's a movement called the Ubuntu movement, and it's about contributism, and it's basically the same way a resource economy would work, because you contribute what you can. So what I'm doing is I'm running for mayor. I want to basically make my town a resource-based economy town to show that it can actually work. If people are willing to give me their time, I'm willing to fork over the money it will cost to get them the resources. Once all the resources are established and we have farmlands everywhere, who will need money? Anyways, that's just how I see things.
No, definitely, Jeff. That's awesome. I think a lot of us agree with that too. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jeff. Would you like to add anything else?
Not really.
For sure. I don't want to cut you off or anything. That's amazing. I really do appreciate you, and it's a privilege to actually have you on today, Jeff. Anyone else like to?
Happy to be here.
Can I ask you, Jeff, where you're running for mayor? Where are you based?
I am based in Chateauguay, Quebec, which is a little town in Canada.
Well, maybe I can go. My name is Yuri. I'm 24, and I live in Brazil. I am from Brazil. And I learned of the Venus Project, about the Venus Project in 2011 through the Zeitgeist addendum, and then moving forward movies, as you guys, many of you, and I've been following and you know, learning a lot and studying all the material provided, and all the concepts and areas that are mentioned, you know, so human behavior, psychology, and whenever possible. And when I say study, I mean on my own. So basically, well, a little bit of my background is I have a mixed background. It's not academic, but I study, you know, on my own again, programming and filmmaking. And so I work in video production right now, and yeah, I have a vast range of interests. So I guess where I am now is I'm focusing on, I think it was Raul that said that, you know, if you don't have the resources, you can't do anything. So I'm focusing on getting resources because I don't have the resources. I also come from a less fortunate family, let's say. So I'm working on, I'm okay now, but I'm working on being, you know, having a surplus to be able to spend on projects. And so, and my goal for basically after I get the resources, or, you know, as I go, is to focus on education. So I guess my approach would be a little different from many of you. And when I say education is along with action. So I've been working on a project, developing tools. The idea is to develop a prototype, a working prototype of a self-sustaining little house. So, but that's a completely different projects in development with friends here in Brazil and from around the world. But it's very early days. But also focusing on education, because I think video films are really powerful tools to communicate. And up to now, we've been talking to people. And I think that is really ineffective. We talk to 1, to 2, 3, 100 if you have if you do a lecture. But it seems to be very, when you do the math, it seems to be very ineffective because lots of people are, being born and their education is completely different from that. So if you say, well, I'm changing 1, but 100 people are being born every day and they're being educated in a completely different way, the math doesn't add up, So basically, I think to reach a lot of people, we have not been doing that. And that's, I think, why we're failing at education, informing people. Because I see huge value in informing people because, see, none of us would ever be here if we didn't learn about Venus Project from the movies, from someone talking about that, right? So I think it's really important but we have not done our best. And the movies that are available, the documentaries, show that it's really powerful because it spread the word. But we need more. I think we need more. We need to try different approaches, maybe steal some ideas from television, try different formats. Again, I work in video production, so that's something I think I can contribute, in the near future. So yeah, I've been focusing on that at the moment. And also action, because if we stop designing things and improving, the designs will be very archaic once we get there and say, hey, let's build it. Okay, but we don't have any working designs. So yeah, both.
How do I pronounce your name? Is it?
Well, it's Yuri. So yeah, you don't pronounce the H, but you can say Yuri if you want, if it's easier.
No, Yuri. Yuri is awesome. Nice to meet you, Yuri. I think we met before, like over communication on this. So it's a privilege to meet you and honored to actually hear that. So thank you so much. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
I can give it a go.
Perfect, Alex.
Yeah. Okay. I'm actually very tired right now, very exhausted, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. So my name is Alexander Jurjens. I am 31 years old. I live in Groningen, the Netherlands. The world is indeed a very small place. I am fully disabled. That's my job. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in computing science. I was on my way to get my master's degree in computing science, but due to personal circumstances, I wasn't able to get it. I was doing an internship at the research group, and I only had to do one final project, and I would have the degree. So I did all the regular courses, I did everything else, and well, things happened, and now I am declared fully disabled, unfit for labor, stuff like that. I also hold a certificate in psychiatry. On paper, formally, I am a volunteer for the Venus Projects. On paper, formally, I am working on Jacques Fresco's Correlation Center. I'm also the inventor of SOCATH, S-O-K-A-T-H. It's a reference, the name itself is a reference to Star Trek. And it's a resource analysis application. So it's yeah, how do I explain it? No, it does things with resources, like it shows production, demand, import, export between all kinds of countries for the entire world. It works for dozens of countries. Currently, it only works for one resource. It can be done for all resources. It's easily extensible. It's all very easy to do. It has the monetary system integrated into the app, just to show the bullshit, basically, the shit that has to go, as Jacques Fresco used to say. Yeah, I'm working on the app since 2005, 2006, around that time. Yeah, it's on hold for the moment. I'm still I'm planning to pick it up again and work with it further. So how do I came to TVP and everything? It's basically the same as you guys. I watched the Zeitgeist Addendum. Then I watched Paradise or Oblivion. That's how I got to TVP, and yeah, it was pretty funny because like Jeff said, when I watched Jacques Fresco speak, when I heard him speak in the documentary at the very beginning, when he talks about this is the money-based society that we lived in. It's all false. It's all shit. I completely agree with it. All the way through the documentary, I was thinking, I agree. So I don't see him as a mentor, but more as a mirror image. Like I'm seeing myself in a mirror. That's what Jacques Fresco is to me. So yeah, that's it.
No, that's amazing, Alexander. That's amazing. I think we all agree that we feel the same way, honestly. That's amazing. It's really a privilege to actually meet you, Alexander, for the first time with me.
I think it's so incredible what that app you're working on, because that's exactly what's needed, when we actually go over to. That's incredible, really good.
Yeah, and that was before I came in contact with TVP and TCM and all that stuff. So I was working on resource-based economy without even knowing that it's called a resource-based economy, Like, yeah, I don't want to say I'm like some kind of Jacques Fresco myself, but maybe it is, maybe I am like that. I don't know. I don't want to be arrogant or something like that. I don't want to compare myself to him. But my original background, where I come from, my original background, I was involved in the transition towns movements. Things done with resources and economy, concept of peak oil, that we are going to have problems in the area of resources themselves. So we have to manage everything really well, and the monetary system has to go. It has to completely go. We have to redesign our type culture. We have to do everything. We have to redesign everything from the ground up again, just to manage our lives, just to get to 80 years old from now on. Yeah. That's how I feel about it, just to survive, to be safe. Yeah.
I'm pretty amazed that you're so educated, Yeah.
Thanks.
A lot of degrees and stuff. Yeah. I'm 21, so I don't have any stuff like that.
Well, I don't see you as a lesser person because I treat everyone equally. I actually don't care whether you do or don't have a degree or something.
Yeah.
Young kids are the future.
I'm sorry.
Young kids are the future.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes. And we are all still relatively young, so we are the future, and we have to create it. We have to do it.
100%, Alexander. After that, I would love to talk to you after everyone else introduced themselves. Same with Sonia. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves at the moment, time being? So if anyone does have to leave for any reason. Marion.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, can you hear me right now? Yeah. My name is Ahmed Gassim. I'm like 31 years old. I'm actually from Sudan. The real reason behind I'm supporting TVB because I hate working. I hate the system, this slavery system about working. Right now I'm working, as you see. Now it's in my town. It's 10 o'clock. I'm working in my office. So this is the main reasons that I'm supporting the TVB. I'm just kidding. But matter of fact, I'm civil engineer. Master degree in civil engineering. I have that big dream to change my country. I'm from Sudan, actually in Africa, because African countries, they are like third world, we can say that countries. We don't have that a huge amount of money. We don't have that a huge amount of, we can say, but actually we have resources. That's why all the time I'm wondering why we are poor. We have a lot of resources. We have a huge amount of resources. Why we are poor? So the fact that the first, I'm not going to say that the first world countries, they are occupying our resources, or they are stealing our money or stealing our resources. But the matter of fact that people, they don't understand that capitalism is not a right system to live in right days. So that's why actually I start like digging in books. I start reading a lot of, just to figure out. I one day I became a communist. After that I left communist because communist itself is like a bureaucratical regime. It's not developing people itself. But I figured out that capitalism is not good things to our world right now. So that's why I found like it's called Zeitgeist movement. I watched a lot of movies of the 3 movies, so I understand that's really a mistake, a big mistake. That's I have been not knowing it actually. So I hope that one day that I'm trying right now. My job is here right now. I really fascinating as the guy from Brazil. I forget his name actually. I'm sorry, but he said he was said like we need to make like really an action. We need to make some action. Like we should do some movies. We should do like help people to become more aware about these systems, or about maybe TVB. Actually, I would like, nowadays we have, in the past, people who can control the television and radio and all those things, they can control people. But right now we have a social media. This is a massive weapon for knowledge. We can use it, because people by repeating things, like maybe he's not agree with you, but by repeating things, he start reading about it. He start reading about what does it mean REB? What does it mean of TVB? What does it mean? Who is Jack Frisco? People will start asking. I will never stop sharing things about in Facebook, sharing things in Twitter. Some people asking me, this is too like it's too difficult to make everybody like agree with your ideas. Is to make everybody like aware enough, because that's a lot of people, they do not use internet. Okay, yes, actually, not all people in the world right now they use internet, but the majority of them, they can affect or they can impact in the people around them. That's all. Thank you really. I have just last one question. All the time people asking me about shifting, actually how we could shift from this like this right now system that we're living in, today's system I mean, to TVB. Okay, if they agree, a lot of people they agree with me like, okay, this is a great idea, this is a nice idea, we would like to one day we have something like this, but really how we could shift in. My answer of this question sometimes is by volunteering, by volunteering. Yeah, people should volunteering, and by themselves can make the shift. But I hope to listen new suggestion about shifting, because this is a main question. All the debates. I'm not like I don't like debating actually, because debates make you somehow like you are a dogmatic person. But sometimes, but you need to answer those people who are asking you this kind of new question. Thank you. I'm sorry that's for taking a long time. I hope I find some answers. Thank you very much.
No, Gassim, that was amazing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And just so that's amazing, Jeff. Thank you so much for actually posting part of your book on the comments. And anybody else would like to go next to introduce themselves? Say Nico or Marianne.
Sure.
Awesome. Just give it. I can hear you clearly, Nico. Or Marianne, would you like to go next?
Don't know how to. I don't know how to put the video.
At the bottom, you know how you unmuted yourself? Right there.
Yeah. So, well, I'm an activist. I'm from Chile, and I've been on the Venus Project for 7 years. I get to know about the Venus Project when Mom died, so it got impressed on me, and I started to read because I was too depressed, and TVP gave me a reason to live. So I started reading and watching videos all days, all the day, and never stopped for like 2 years. Then I started to do some activism, talking to people on the street, but never got a good answer from people. And I started to read scientific papers, and TVP opened me a window. So I started to understand engineering and lots of things that I thought never possible, like electronics, lasers, scientific things that I always find too complex seems to be easy. And then I tried again activism and get some good response from people. The more I read about TVP and watch Jack's videos, the method started to work. I started to use Jack's method, and then it started to work. Then I started to talk like Jack talks in the videos, and the more I did, the better the response. The more I talk from my background, the less response I get from people. So life became meaningful. And then, like 2 years ago, more, 3 years ago, I got smacked by this system, sadly, and did very little activism for like 3 years and read very little about TVP. So I got rusty, but I'm coming back. Again, TVP gave me a sense in life. And I'm starting to talk to any people I meet on the street. When I go to the street, I talk like 50 people. I'm from 50 people, 25, I managed to turn them around. So they say this is interesting. I just smack them in the head with the technological unemployment. The first thing I talk to them is that the system is going to collapse when people don't have purchasing power to buy the things turn out. So they get, wow, this is interesting. I'm sorry to do that, but people has to be talked directly. Otherwise, they don't get involved in the conversation. So then I listen them, I let them talk, and then I use Jack method. I just talk about TVP. I don't leave them in me there, so I give them solutions, the solutions that TVP proposes, and the response is getting better and better. As I said, I'm a little rusty, so I need a time. But after warming up, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make the Venus project built. I think we will build it. We will make the Venus project a reality. It depends on what we do, the rate of development. But if we go with the guidelines, eventually nations will join, and the media will start to show it more on TVs, depending on what we do. So thank you. That's it, mostly. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nico. Appreciate it. Much appreciated. And it's
Thank you.
privilege to have you here. Marianne doesn't want to introduce herself. I think she's just here to listen. So it's a privilege to actually have you on here, Marianne. If I'm not mispronouncing your name wrong, and I do apologize if I am. So it's a privilege to actually have you on also. Would anyone else like to add anything to Nico's introduction? Any questions or comments?
Nicholas, are you going to introduce yourself?
Nicholas.
We're also interested.
Sure, I'm also interested in listening. No, I was just reading the chat. I thought that Mark was going to go next, but sure, I can introduce myself. Sorry, I need to liven up a bit because I don't know why just reminding that Jacques passed, I don't know, you know, when it kind of hits you a bit late. So that's kind of happening to me today. So I'm a bit so sorry about that. Like many of you guys have expressed already, like I live most of my life, sometimes consciously, sometimes subconsciously, like feeling alone or not understood or feeling that something wasn't right. And yeah, when I heard Jack, that was just the moment where I was like, I'm not alone anymore, thank goodness. So yeah, I owe him so much. But yeah, what can I say? If you want to know my background just for maybe cultural influences, I was born in Denmark to an English mother and Italian father. And I'm just saying that so maybe you can understand how I was culturally shaped. I'm not proud of being any nationality. I don't care about nationalities. For me, it's one big planet and we're all under the same sky. And I don't know, as a kid, I've always been quite a rebel. So I've never accepted the thing when as a kid, you see something that doesn't make sense. Like we live in a house and we have an extra bedroom. And why is the homeless person there sleeping on the street? They'll give you I just made that up, like that's never happened, but just that's an example of something that would happen. I've never been able to accept the answers given to me. So I've always been looking for a better system. And so I went through school and suffered a lot through that because again, just this weird thing of like, we live in this, I'm quoting someone here, I don't know who it is, but we live in this amazing, colorful world. And we sit kids down that are full of energy and make them learn about it through a black and white book. It's ridiculous. And we talked a lot with Charlotte's presentation about how that just doesn't work and it's counterproductive. So I got out of school and oh my God, I've forgotten who said it now. Someone that said they started liking TVP, etc., out of hate for their job. And I'm similar to that. Maybe someone, can you raise your hand who said that? Sorry, I forgot that.
That was Gassim.
Oh, okay. So yeah, exactly. Exact same feeling. I had this soul destroying job of like just competing against other industries that are doing the same thing and just money, and it didn't make sense and I was wasting my life. And I was quite depressed at that time. And at that same time, I discovered two concepts. One was resource-based economy, obviously, and the other one was I stuck around a bit with that. I was a bit stuck. I was saying, this is how I want to live. This is what I want to bring to the world. It just finally made sense, and that was the life I wanted to live. But I couldn't see, as many other people here have said, I couldn't see how to get from here to there. So I started looking for solutions. Especially, I was very interested in technologically how to do it, because I was wondering like, okay, so if there are no jobs, that means that theoretically, if nobody wants to work, we still need technological solutions to take care of us. So I was wondering like the really shitty jobs, like cleaning someone's broken toilet, as my mom often asks me, like, but who in an RBE, who will clean the toilets and stuff like that? Or for example, mining, like how do you automate mining? How do you like dangerous situations? How do you solve that? And I couldn't find anything. And so I was wondering, so even if you had all the money in the world and all the resources in the world, like, is it actually feasible to do it right now? Jacques Fresco said that was feasible already a century ago. And I was wondering, without human input, because I focus a lot on abundance and scarcity and how people react to that. And it's funny to see how I still get triggered with that. Just someone that's like, I don't know, just some stupid situation where money is involved and someone's being stingy, then I kind of get stingy too, and it's so pathetic. But by recognizing that in myself, and I think it does come from the environment. So in an environment where some labor is required and some people are not working and labor is seen as scarce, then I kind of fear that the system could collapse, if you could understand. So I was very interested in that. So basically the other solution I found was eco-villages. So this is what I'm doing, and I know a lot of people are talking about, there's this group, there's TCM, there's the Ubuntu movement, there's the transition, there's Zyga, there are so many, and they're doing the same thing, but they can't find common ground in some sense. Or I don't know why they're not working all together. And then lots of other projects uniting all of these movements, which would be fantastic. But again, I've had so many different ones, so I'm very curious to see. I opened the link already in my browser, so I'm going to see how it's different, and maybe if there are other people doing the same thing, I'll put you in touch with them. But yeah, so I have my own theory for a transition, which is kind of like, I play a lot of video games, so a few things, hobbies of mine. I like extreme sports, like skateboarding, snowboarding, blah, blah, blah. I'm also a musician, so I play piano and make electronic music. So I'm a bit weird, like classical or electronic, but not much with the in-between. I'm vegan, so also animal rights is a big thing for me, as well as human rights, of course. So just life quality in general. But right now, I'm going to go and study robotics and automation engineering in Ireland next year. Well, actually September. And the reason why I'm doing this is because kind of like a video game where you start from those strategy games where you start from like nothing, like you're a primitive society and you go all the way to outer space. I kind of want to develop something similar. So, and there are groups. The beauty about this is people often complain that there are so many groups doing different things. And I actually see all these groups doing different things without knowing them. With so many don't even realize it, they're working towards the same thing. And a lot of them are open source. So I'm working on this alone. I've tried so many times to work with other teams to get in another team or to form a team, and I've always failed. But I'm not alone in this because I've got like a huge team of people working with me, and we all do, because just a few solutions like FarmBot. We were talking about entrepreneurs, someone was saying Elon Musk should be doing more, or Bill Gates, whatever. But there's another, there's Manoj something. He's formed Billions in Change, and he's investing money in developing water purification systems or energy creation systems, etc. So there's so many projects like this, and the idea is I want to develop solutions that from the ground up, you can start your own house, your own village, depends where you're at. If you've got a city of people, you start that. If you've got a village of people, you start that. If you just want to get off the grid and do it by yourself, you do that. A range of solutions, low-cost solutions, like for example, 3D printing 5 years ago was a toy, and now they 3D printed a 25 square meter apartment in Russia. So it's not like Germany or Italy where the conditions are good. Russia in winter, so full-on winter, freezing conditions, for 10,300 euros. That's a house built in one day without any human labor, except for like some placements, things that can be automated further on. So I want to develop, first of all, like basic human needs: food, water, clean energy, so renewable energy, housing, etc. And then you go up from there and you build these solutions, make them open source, available for everyone, low cost, so you can spread it. And if you just think of how many people are in poverty, if you get a group of volunteers, if you get some funding, if you get people working on this, spreading it to the people that need it, I'm sure that once you take care of those people that desperately need it and would love that, and get them to the point where they see you don't need money to survive, and then you can transition with developing further technology. Once those people have been taken care of, I'm pretty sure that living through that, where you don't have enough, when you don't know if you're going to make it to the next day, they'll have the empathy needed to spread that even further. So it's kind of like a snowball effect, but that's what I'm working on. And obviously whatever I develop after my studies will be open source. So I'm not working separate from anyone. If another group working on the same thing or a separate thing wants to use my stuff, that's totally cool, because it will be open source. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And I'll end it here because I think I've blabbed enough.
Hello, everybody. I'm half Catalan, half American. I have a master's in energy engineering. I don't do that anymore now. Sometimes I teach English conversation as a second language, translate scientific publications, and I do maintenance on the property where I live. So I was very lucky to inherit money when an aunt died, and I don't have to pay the rent because I live in property of my parents. So I choose to not worry about if the money will run out in 5 years. And I work constantly at
Just give it one moment. It's probably the internet connection.
Okay.
Yeah. you will be back or what? I don't know.
Mark, can you hear me?
Hello.
Give it a second. Andrew Boyle, would you like to introduce yourself? We'll wait for Mark, but I was just making sure if you would like to introduce yourself, Andrew. Cool, awesome. Just give it a moment. I'll just give it like another moment. Oh, he got disconnected, so he'll hopefully hop back on. Andrew, would you like to introduce yourself? Andrew Boyle. If not, that's okay. It's a privilege to actually have you here in this learning network. Thank you so much. Just give it one moment. I just want to make sure I didn't cut off Andrew or anything. And at the end of this, if you guys, while we wait for Andrew, if anybody would like to host any of these learning network presentations every week, please let Stephanie or Charlotte know on the chat if you guys would like to become a presenter or a host for any reason. It'd be a privilege to actually have Tony to talk about one of his ideas. Charlotte did one last week, so that was amazing. She went into depth, amazing. It was amazing. I loved it, honestly.
I just wanted to say, as long as we're talking about that, next week we're going to be having somebody do a presentation on the plans that he and a colleague of his have made for building actually a city. So they're going to go through the detailed plans of exactly how they're going to do that. They're both students of architectural engineering. And then 2 weeks after that, Andrew Lamb is going to give us a presentation. He hasn't decided on the subject yet, but knowing Andrew, I'm sure it will be very interesting. So if you've got an idea of something you'd like to talk about, and I'm hearing a lot of people talk about transition, and it's not that anybody here has the answers, but we're here to learn from each other. So if somebody says, yeah, I want to dive into that, I want to research that, what are the possibilities for transition? I'll give a presentation on that. I'll give these ideas. And the rest of you come in with your ideas. I mean, nobody knows it. But to say, well, we're stuck here and we want to go there, you know, everybody's saying, what's going to happen in between? So for anybody who isn't already scheduled for a presentation, if that sounds like something you'd like to get into, really investigate that and tell us what you've found. I think everybody would be really interested in that. So like Raul said, get in touch with me, get in touch with Stephanie, and you know, we'll make an event. You'll be on. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. Definitely. If we'll just probably wait until Andrew comes on, but please, whoever was going to talk, sorry for interrupting you.
Raul, I would like to add a little bit more about presentation. The presentation itself should be around half an hour to 14 minutes. So don't make it too long or too short, if it makes sense to you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, definitely, Stephanie.
Right. I mean, did you hear me the part of a presentation?
Yeah, we could hear
good.
Perfect. I don't think Andrew will be hopping on, but if he does for any reason, let him, and then we'll let him introduce himself. If anyone has any questions regarding anyone's introduction, anyone thinking about an idea that they want to share real quick, I know if this is a lot of time consuming, I really do appreciate your time in advance for everyone being here. I think we all do appreciate that, and it's a privilege and honor to actually meet all of you. I think I mispronounced her name wrong. Sonia is like so excited. I'm excited with her because I've seen that energy, and it's like giving energy back from each other. In that kind of sense, it's amazing. But if anybody would like to say any comments, questions regarding that, because I would like to that's why I don't want to take anyone's time. That's why I don't want to introduce, because it's like I don't want to make it too long and make it about me, but it's not just about me, it's about everyone that's here. But I would like to introduce something like some ideas about the transition and get some feedback and take that into consideration and go back and forth if we can. And if anybody would like to say anything, please do so.
I just wanted to, if I can, just do a very quick survey. because when Charlotte was doing the presentation on education, people were asking about the software she used to record that. And there's a free software called Open Broadcasting Studio. And I've been using that with quite good success. So it's free, it's open source. It just takes like a tiny bit, like 10 minutes to learn. So I was thinking like a very informal group meeting for whoever wants to learn that. I can teach you guys how to use that if that's of any interest.
What's it called? Open Broadcast
Studio.
Studio.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
So if more than one person wants to know about that, we can do a call on that. So yeah.
Sorry, there was background noise, but what is that? Like, what could we utilize that for?
So basically you can like set up different microphones. Okay, I think I was getting feedback from someone. You can basically set up different webcams or microphones or record your own screen, and then you can like place the webcam where you want it, or you can deactivate them with hotkeys and stuff. So it's quite good. And then you can stream live to YouTube. You can record your stuff. You can do a lot of stuff. So it's quite a powerful tool. But the cool thing is that it's free. So that's the main point. So we could use that as a tool for presentations if that's something that you guys are interested in.
Yeah, definitely. Charlotte and Stephanie will take that into consideration, or we'll all take that into consideration. But that's awesome. Thank you for like saying that. Anyone else would like to introduce any ideas?
I'm going to have to leave now. As you all know, that I had an operation about 6 weeks ago, so I can't sit too long. So I've been here for an hour and a half. So I'm going to go now. And I'll see, I hope, all of you next week for the presentation on cities. Really, thanks all you new people. It was just really incredible meeting all of you. I'm really happy to have met you all. And well, see you later, and thanks.
Well,
yes,
good luck.
Likewise.
Yeah, and sitting is there. Sitting is there.
Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Okay.
Once you close it, Charlotte, wait until that file loads onto your computer.
Let's see, how do I end it?
If it does for any reason get disconnected, just click on the same link that you got on.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No, you're okay.
Yeah.